Alright guys, there are lots of ways to do things, so when we do this number 3, I'm going to be showing you some new features, but I'm just going to start by making the main or the big shape. So I'm going to start from the front sketch, and I'm going to make the trapezoid. So I'm going to use the line tool to do that. I'm going to go from here to there, up, over, and then back down. Alright, that looks like kind of weird right now, but this will actually help me do some new features. So just do that, see what happens. I think Onshape's trying to catch up a little bit to me. Okay, I'm back. So when I take a look at these lines that I have here, you'll notice that these 2 points down here are actually not on top of each other, and I do want them to be. So I'm actually going to use something called a constraint. I'm going to tap on those 2 points that I want to be on top of each other, and I'm going to choose a coincident constraint, this one right here. And now they're right on top of each other. And then this line right here, I need it to be parallel with this line. And it doesn't show that they are right now, so I'm going to do a parallel constraint on those two. And that should help a little bit as well. Alright, so you can kind of see that those showed up here. Now if I do some dimensioning, that will also help. So I'm going to dimension this side right here. And this side should be, I believe it's 8 units. So I'm going to make that 8. That just made it really big. And this one needs to be, I think it's 5 tall. 5 units tall. And then that kind of takes care of everything else. I am noticing that this point up here, I'm going to get rid of that, this point up here says it's coincident. And that one's coincident. I'm just not sure what about this line makes it movable. I don't think it's movable. I don't think that point, the point's still movable because I didn't dimension that top side. So if I dimension from there, well, if I dimension that, that should be 3 units. Perfect. Okay, now I have it dimensioned the way I need it to. It's all black. Alright, so when it's all black, it's all fully dimensioned, and so then I have my sketch. I'm going to extrude it, and this one I'm going to go, it's 5 units deep, so I'm going to do 5 units there. Alright, so there's my first thing. Now, again, there are tons of tools you could use to make this in a different way, but I'm going to show you, I'm using this to really show you some tools. So we are going to do something special in our 3D features, and that is we're going to create a plane, and I'm going to use that plane to sketch that little tiny block that's off in the right corner. So I'm going to go to plane, and I'm going to select this bottom surface here, and then you'll see that it tries to make a plane below it. It's kind of hovering below it. I actually want that plane to be up 3 units. So first I'm going to make it 3 units. Alright, it's offset, and then I'm going to put it opposite direction. So I'm actually going to make it up there. Alright, so once I've done that, I'm going to hit check mark, and then I'm going to create a sketch on that plane. So I'm going to twist this a little bit and move it around. Alright, I'm going to view normal to sketch plane, and now that block is directly over this corner right here. Right, so I want to try to be directly over that corner, and I'm going to make myself a corner point rectangle this time. So I'm going to start at that corner. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. Come out and come back in. Alright, so I want to start at oh, it's not letting me select that corner. Alright, well, I'm just going to put it there, and then I'm going to go there, and then I can do some adjusting in a little bit. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dimension that side to be 3 units. I'm going to dimension that side to be 3 units. And then I am going to constrain, oops, so I had to get out of that tool. I'm going to constrain that. Oh. Okay, I'm going to constrain that point to that point right there. So I'm going to do, although that's not going to work, I'm going to make those. Let's see if this works. I haven't tried it yet. Ah, it does work if I make it coincident. All right, let me just check here. Great. All right, so I made those coincident, just meaning that I made it right directly over it. Cool. So now I should be able to do an extrusion, and this is going to be a new thing that you haven't done before. So you've done an extrusion. Oops, I need to get out of the sketch. You've done an extrusion before, but maybe you haven't used this feature. So I'm going to extrude that solid right there, and notice that it's digging down in there. We know that it has to be 3 units tall, so I'm going to make it 3 units. And then it looks like it's working just fine. But what's actually happening is it's also going through the part itself, but I can I think, sorry, I gotta double check this. The end type is up to face, and I'll just select that face right there. Oops. Take that off. Up to face is the right one to select. Up to face, I'm going to select the face that I'm going up to. I'm going to choose that. All right, so I can make it go down to that face anytime I want to. So instead of having to tell it how many units, I just have it go up to the face, which is kind of cool. All right, check mark. Good to go. I've got my solid.